Hey everybody, welcome back. So this, I believe, is going to be my final video on Dying Light the Beast. And the reason for that is because the game's been completed by everybody now. The map is not big enough to have any secrets that we haven't already found. And unless this game gets a DLC of any kind, being as it's meant to be a standalone game, then there really isn't a lot of other content to put out there. So this video is more directed to Techland in case anybody actually notices the video or gets any feedback from it. And it's regarding Dying Light 3. So obviously in Dying Light 1 or 2, regardless of which way you fall on the story and which way you prefer it to be, Dying Light 3, for it to be successful, there are a few things that you can add to the game. So obviously in the Beast, you took the aspects mainly from the graphics, right? So you muted the graphics, which was a nice touch, because in an apocalypse, you wouldn't have the super bright neon colors or the neon lights everywhere. You just wouldn't have that. So in this game, that was a win for you. You took it back to where it belonged, which is muted colors and dark night. That was awesome. As far as which way I would push the game, regardless of story, the main thing that people like in games is exploration, right? The the feeling of accomplishment, and I'm going to point to a game here that is one of the only games that ever made me feel that way. And I'm pretty sure you, even as game developers, have played this game. That game is Elden Ring. In Elden Ring, there were no markers on the screen, right? So if I go to this, in your current map on this, you can see everything. You can see the towers, the safe zones, and it tells you what reward is in it. Elden Ring didn't have that. Now, Elden Ring did have a map, and it did show stuff on it, but it only showed stuff that you had found, right? You had to literally find it, which to show on the map. There were no quest markers saying, listen, come to this location, and you will, in this case, like get a weapon and some XP. You didn't get that. What that brings out in a player base, you will have the YouTubers going nuts. You will have the fans going nuts because there will be genuine, like for real secrets in the game because nobody will know where everything is. And every time you enter a building or a cave, anything, if you find something, can you imagine the amount of people that will make content on that for you, marketing your game? Elden Ring is one of the most watched franchises on YouTube for that exact reason. Everybody was looking for secrets, right? So take that island, for example. Let's just say that there are no markers on your map in Dying Light 3, and somebody runs up to this island and finds a chest with a specific weapon in it. You're going to have all the YouTubers making them videos. Them YouTubers are giving you free marketing. That's really what you need is exploration versus reward in Dying Light 3, regardless of which way you take the story. Now, I made a previous video where I gave my review of your game, and I love this game. And it is, in my personal opinion, the best Dying Light that you've made because it kind of shows a bit more to Carl Crane's story. It doesn't wrap it up, but it shows more to it. And it opens up the future possibilities of where you could take Dying Light 3. Oh, I thought I saw something over there then. So from that point of view, if you're going to make a Dying Light 3, obviously it takes years to make said game, but have it where you do not have all the icons on the screen. People are not stupid. They will explore. We walk around the entire map. We climb every building, every outhouse, every sewer, everything. Like, trust me, we all look. And the more a player feels accomplished by finding something rather than just looking at the map, like I just said, and like, oh, there's a building, let's go to the building, it's showing a reward. Give the player the freedom to find that stuff. As far as an RPG goes, because you tend to be pushing in that direction, if you want to go RPG, then stop messing about and go full RPG. Add crit severity, damage resistance, armor, add the full package. But if you're going to do that, you've got to add the ability for us to change certain things. For example, if you play like World of Warcraft or Neverwinter, you will know that you can change the values of certain items to give you more crit chance or crit severity. I would also say that you've got to give the ability to players to craft ammunition for the guns, because at the moment, from Dying Light 1, where you had the guns, you had the option to either play melee or play with guns. If you use guns, you could mainly go to the bridge or police cars or whatever, and you could have a good source of ammunition. So you gave players two ways of playing. In Dying Light 2, there were no guns in the game for a long, long time. And when you did bring them back, like in this game, ammunition is super, super rare. And what you're doing is you're really pushing players into staying as melee. And that's not really player choice. And you want player choice in a game because it will bring more players to your game. Right? As far as the narrative aspect goes, for which way you push the story, personally, I would personally head for more Dying Light 1 with Carl Crane, the Tower Survivors. As I've touched on before, there are survivors of Harran because not everybody was bitten and they do use UV in the tower. Now, in Dying Light 2, the Villador survivors and in the city use UV to stay alive, the ones that are not bitten. And in this, there are people that use UV to stay alive that are not bitten. So if you continue the story of if you're bitten, like in this, you have to kill yourself, that's fine. But there could still be survivors in Harran. And with it being that's where the game started, if you want to go full circle, then makes more sense to go back to Harran because you've already created that world. You just need to change it a little bit. Make it more alive like this, where things move. I can't praise this game enough as far as the graphical improvements that you've made in your engine. Like, it's phenomenal, and more credit to you for that. You put a lot of hard work and time into this, and it shows. So yeah, back to this game now. The final thing that I will say about it is, yes, the map is small and there is a lot of backtracking, but I have enjoyed my time with this, and it is worth the money that we've all paid for it. As I said, the only thing I would ask is please open up the map a little bit more. As soon as I'll get into the UV zone, I'll show you. Oh, I actually thought I'd missed that then. Wow. Right, so the final thing is the map. As I've said in a few videos before, all this dark zone is locked. It's either trees or bushes, broken down tunnels. You can't get into it, but there are areas you are meant to clearly come into. There are buildings, there are caves. This is Crystal Lake. You're meant to come here. Another cave there. There's another part here, another lake. I've actually got cars showing on the map. So at some points, obviously, we were meant to come down, or hopefully we will be coming down if you drop a DLC for this game. But that's it. This game come DLC, standalone. It's awesome, and it's worth everybody's money. It really, really is. I do believe myself personally, as I said, if you would have took away all the icons from the map and just let people find it as they're exploring, that would have probably prolonged play hours. And also opening up these areas and allowing people to explore the actual entire map would be, prolonging the game's life as well. But other than that, I don't really have any criticisms. I did play it on PS5 Pro and it ran really, really smooth. I had no graphical issues whatsoever. I had one bug in the game where I was doing a mission for the town hall where it was going to get blown up, and you go underneath to move the bombs, and then after I'd killed the soldiers, it kept telling me to kill the soldiers even though they were dead. So I had to restart the game, but then that was fine after that. But that's the only one I've had. So yeah, for whether you're a fan of Dying Light 1 or Dying Light 2, you will enjoy the beast. Obviously, once you enjoy a franchise, you tend to enjoy the whole thing. And I only want the best for the developers. I think Techland are a good studio. I think they do make good content, but I do think they need to stop listening to YouTubers as far as design goes, what YouTubers want to see in the game, because every YouTuber is different and wants something different, and you can't cater to them all, right? So my advice to Techland, you've got your own writers, you've got your own computer technician engineer, so make your game yourself, design it yourself, and if you're going to ask anything of any players, whether it be YouTubers or on just a general forum, just ask what people really enjoyed about a game. Don't ask them what you want them to put, what you want the YouTubers to see in the game, if that makes sense. It's got to be your game, your vision, right? Like Stephen King doesn't write a story and then ask for his audience's feedback as to how the story ends up. Do you get what I mean? That said, this is as I said, the final video, I think, on Dying Light the Beast, which is a shame. I've had 4 or 5 days of playing this, and I've had a lot of fun, and I've really, really thoroughly enjoyed this game. I'm currently at 81 hours of playing it, which is more than I put into Dying Light 2. Not quite what I put into Dying Light, the first game, so I think I've got about 11 or 1200 hours in that, but that was because of the DLCs and, you know, the prison heist and all that sort of stuff, but that was awesome. But yes, developers, if you are listening, please add a New Game Plus to this, because again, that will add player longevity and allow us to bring all the stuff in that we've earned through the first game through to New Game Plus, and possibly open up this map and let's find out what's out there, because that would be fantastic. That said, if anybody has watched the video, if it has helped at all, and if any of the developers do watch and hear the feedback, I am super impressed with what you've done with the engine. I'm super impressed with the way you've handled the story this time round, especially bringing Crane back. Maybe for the third game, as I said, think of Elden Ring and the sales figures that pushed through the roof because people were exploring the map and finding the secrets themselves. They weren't guided to the secrets, right? They came across them. We all did. So, yes, thank you for your time and watching the video, guys. As I said before, my next game will be Alien Rogue Incursion at the end of the month, and then Stalker 2 and whatever else comes out. But if anything does come up for Dying Light the Beast, obviously I'm going to cover it because I love Techland as a company. I've been with them since the start, so I only want the best for them. That said, guys, the weekend is on its way. You enjoy your weekend, and thank you very, very much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.